Stay with me.
Initially, Mikaji's world is left shattered after the death of her remaining family member and her grandmother. However, she soon learns that, despite the fact that all of her remaining biological family members are deceased, doesn't mean that she has to live her life in solitude. This is presented through how Yuichi's bond with her grandmother appeared to be greater than that of her own, as evidenced through the line of how Yuichi's tears fell like rain at her grandmother's funeral after seeing a picture of her grandmother. Yoshimoto does this to imply that family is not merely a biological construct, but one that is created out of constant and consistent nurturing and care towards the others. Perhaps Yoshimoto also does this in order to create a moment of foreshadowing of how Mikaje and the Tanabe's family will form this sort of familial bond in the later stages of the novella, despite the hindrances presented by Eriko's transsexuality. Indeed, this is confirmed when Eriko concludes that Mikaje is a good kid too, which implies that Eriko sees Mikaje as her own daughter, thus challenging traditional familial norms of 1980s Japan. The literal definition of an orphan is a child whose parents have either passed away or deserted them. Therefore, the noun may incite feelings of perhaps melancholy, solitude, or perhaps even rage. In the novella, Mikaje is literally an orphan due to the fact that her parents are deceased and so are her grandparents. Likewise, Mikaje even uses the term to describe herself in the phrase, like orphans in the dark. Yoshimoto does this in order to imply or convey Mikaje's feelings of desertion and sorrow towards herself or towards the world for not having anybody to rely on. What supports this idea is the fact that light is a symbol of Mikaje's joy and Mikaje's happiness, therefore an absence of which would suggest the opposite. Yuichi also uses the term orphans in the phrase, "So I'm an orphan now," again to perhaps imply his feelings of sorrow or isolation. Having an unconventional family puts more emphasis on different things than having a conventional family. For example, Yoshimoto puts forth the idea that people can still love each other like family despite not being biologically related. Take for example how Eriko refers to Mikaje as her daughter or her little precious child. Another area in which having an unconventional family differs to having a conventional family is the emphasis on constant nurturing and care for the children. For example, how Eriko works at the nightclub, yet still has the time to pop back home every night to say hi to Mikaje and Yuichi.